Welcome everybody to our February KCWT meeting, monthly meeting. Good to see everybody here. I'm going to go through some announcements tonight. Then we'll follow that with a demonstration from Mike McReynolds. And then we'll follow the demonstration with going through the challenge project from last month, which was based on Effie's six-sided bowl demonstration. And then following that, we'll do a little show and tell for anybody that's got some stuff that they'd like to show. So let's see. Jack, why am I not seeing any words? There we go. Okay. All right. February announcements. Did I have one before this, Jack, or is this the first slide? Okay. All right. Open shop. I thought I had one where I was welcoming visitors and first timers to our meeting. But I probably got that out of order or something, or didn't get it in there. So we'll start here then. This is fine, Jack. This is fine. Just everybody probably knows this, but we continue to have the open shop through, well, we're continuing open shop, but we are still using the Sign Up Genius to reserve a time. And we're going to do some quarterly shop cleanups. And the first one I'm scheduling for March 6th. And we're going to do these a little later in the morning, go from 10 a.m. to around noon. It usually takes a couple of hours. I'd like to highly encourage anybody that uses the open shop pretty regularly to participate. Also, if you're there and using the shop, please help keep the shop organized and clean. And if you see any maintenance issues or anything that you notice that isn't right, just let the board know, either by talking to somebody that's there with you or shoot an email to the board. That would be great. You can find information on the website regarding that. And another reminder is in regards to the February announcements. Just wanted you to remember to check the Etsy site, and Turn KC. We've got 24 items, I think, listed. I don't know that all of them are up there yet, but we've got them listed, and we appreciate. Oops, is this automatically going on us, Jack? It's going faster than I can talk. Okay. Here we go. Okay, and well, I think Ann's got a few items that she's still yet to get on the site, but we got 24 items to get on the site, and we've had a couple sales already. Thanks to everybody who's donated pieces so far. Everybody's welcome to donate a piece to put on the site. It would be for support of the club, so it wouldn't be personal sales, wouldn't be there. But big thanks to Ann once again for managing the site. So now, Jack, we did a little bit of cleanup in the permanent gallery that's located in the shop library. So if you guys get a chance, stop by and check it out. It's a good thing to kind of look through for ideas and inspiration and intrigue, because some of those things you'll look at and go, how the heck did they do that? So fun little visit while you're at the shop. Go check it out. Anthony Harris is currently teaching a spindle turning class. If I'm correct, they started yesterday, or yeah. And it'll continue for the next 2 weeks. That's going to be followed up in April with a basic bowl turning class. I think there's still some spots available on that class. So if you'd like to contact Kevin or contact Anthony, either one, they'll get you on the list for the bowl turning class that's coming up. Thanks, Anthony, for offering those up. Let's see, this month's, I think I did this to you, Jack, because I think I've got some animations in there that I didn't realize I had it while I was building this thing. So bear with me while I get through it. The February silent art auction piece is still out there and able to be bid on. It's a it's not a 3-wood finial. Well, yeah, it is a 3-wood finial box. Okay. No, it's not. I think I got started on that and didn't get that. You can see what it is. It's a beautiful wedding goblet, ringed wedding goblet, and it's got some, it looks like somehow he has gotten, how'd you get the lines in there, Sean? Unmute yourself and explain your project here a little bit.
Unmute.
There you go.
Yeah, there's laminate in there. It's black, orange, white, green, and then black. It was glued in, and then turned after it dried. So that's.
So it definitely.
If I had done one the other way, I could have put a Celtic knot in it, but I was too lazy to do that.
So you turned it and then bandsawed it, or you bandsawed it after you got the shape?
No, the billet was round, so I cut the angle with a chop saw, and then glued the laminate in, and then after it was dry, then I did the goblet.
Turned your billet down from there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you got till Friday, February 12th to bid on this thing. Sean's said if he doesn't get $1,000 for it, he's going to be a little disappointed. So make sure you bid that thing up. Thank you, Sean, for that. Our March silent auction piece. This is the first time we've done this, but we're going to offer up a piece from the Bob and Betty Davis art collection. It's a beautiful natural edge bowl from Bob Davis, Robert Bob Davis. Georgia Cherry is what it's called out as, and a nice example of a good turning. So love to see you guys, especially those that know and were mentored or worked with Bob in the past. Love to see you guys bid on that for March. And that will be open until March 12th. Bidding on that will start this Saturday. So that gets me through the announcements. They weren't too bad this week. And before we get to the demonstration, Effie had put together he found a video regarding the dangers of CA glue on the lathe that he's going to show us about a couple minutes from. So thank you, Effie, for reminding us of this easily forgotten safety measure. And with that, if you've got the controls and want to start sharing your screen with the video, that would be great.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a 5 minutes video, but I want to show only the 1 minute, and if you're interested to see the rest of it, you're welcome. So again, this is only one aspect of safety, talking about CA glue.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the shop. Today, I was an idiot. Can you believe it? That's right. I was doing some simple little procedure on the lathe, and, well, why don't I just show you? Always wear your safety glasses. Oh man, so for anyone who's ever worked with CA glue, also known as super glue, you'll know the noxious fumes that it puts off, and it stings your eyeballs, and it irritates your like the mucous membranes inside your nasal passage. Just now you saw me put some on the inside of that bowl. Well, it seeped through the grain and spun off as the lathe was turning and flung it into my eye. And if anybody knows anything else about super glue, it's basically solidifies and moisture or any liquid. So as soon as it hit my eye, instantly hardened, and then it just started off gassing. So like my eye is just dumping water from those fumes, and I could feel it.
Well, I guess you got the idea. It's really dangerous to use the CA. As always, use your safety glasses. And this video, continuing the details after that, he shows how terrible his injury was. So keep in mind safety all the time.
Thanks, Effie. I appreciate that.
Effie, he was talking about a kind of odored CA glue. They now have a brand that's odor free. Is that still dangerous from a fumes or perspective? Do you know?
You know, the way he used it was dangerous. I mean, it was
Not wearing the glasses. Yeah.
exactly. I don't know about the fumes, how the fumeless CA. I can check it next time.
Okay, thanks.
I would say you'd probably still, Jack, have this issue with it hardening and off-gassing, even though you may not have the fumes in that more what do they call it, medical grade CA. I don't know that. I know when I've used CA on the lathe, what I'll typically do is the first time I turn the lathe on, I'll stand back with a piece of paper held over the project so that I can turn the lathe off then and see if it's splattering anything on the paper, and that'll give me an idea of whether there's still some wet CA in there. But I've heard more than once about getting CA in your eye, and nobody wants to lose eyesight. So be careful. And thank you, Effie, for finding that safety minute. I think that's a very valid one. We all, as woodworkers, we all work with CA glue at some point, it seems like. So I appreciate that. Now, without further ado, I'll introduce Mike McReynolds, and Mike's going to explain. Mike, I couldn't find any photos of your project, so you're just going to have to give us a little explanation before you get into your demonstration. But it's a sea urchin ornament, only it doesn't use a sea urchin. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, I'm giving the mic to you, bud. Thank you.
Okey-doke. Yeah, if you want to bring that up, Jack, they'll be able to see what we're talking about. Want to back up a slide? Okay, just kind of a faux CA urchin, faux sea urchin. Still talking about CA glue here. Faux sea urchin, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do for an ornament this year. I usually make an ornament that I give to my family and a few close friends. So I make about 15 or 16 of them, give a few away for different raffles at the church, that type of thing. And I came across Alan Stratton from the shop opera as Woodturners. And he was doing this faux sea urchin. And he's been demonstrating it a couple of years. I saw it a couple of years ago and thought that was something I wanted to try someday. But this happened to be the day. So we gave it a try. And the way he does it, the one on the right is spalted maple with walnut finials. And the one on the left is just soft maple with walnut finials. And the way he does it is he'll take a small spur drive and a live center and put in each side of those holes to make the fins. And I did that with the spalted maple, and it worked pretty good. I didn't have much trouble with it, but it was kind of slow. So I kind of figured out a little different way to do it that was a little quicker and faster since I had so many of them to make. I'll give you some of the basics, and then we're just going to kind of hit some of the highlights. The video got to be rather long, so we're just going to hit some of the highlights on the videos. But the basic steps is you're going to turn a piece of wood into a cylinder, and you want your cylinder pretty square, the same on each end. The better the square you've got it, the better your holes are going to drill straight through it. And then we mark our drill points, then drill quarter-inch holes all the way through the cylinder. I used a drill press. I'm sure there's other ways to do it, but that was the easiest way for me. I've got a little platform that I set up that's got a notch out of it that I used for making my toruses, so I could line up my pieces and make sure they went lined up the way I wanted them. But it worked great for drilling these holes. So I used that on my drill press, and then we'll rough turn a sphere for the body. And precision doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to cut 8 coves in this, and when you cut the coves, it reduces the top and bottom down. So doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want it somewhat close. Then we'll take and drill a 3/4-inch hole down the center of the body and part it off, and that lets us mount the sphere on the mandrel through opposite 1/4-inch holes. Then we'll turn the fins into the body. We'll just have to repeat that 4 times, mounting it on the mandrel. And when we get all the fins cut and sanded, then we'll re-drill the 1/4-inch holes into 1/2-inch holes on the drill press again. We'll remount the body in some cold jaws, which was the easiest way I found, and hollow out the inside to kind of clean up the inside and reduce some of the weight. Then we'll turn the top and bottom finial, glue up the sides, or glue them into the body, and then I'll drill a small hole in the top finial to be able to put a leg eye into. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started with this. We're assuming that everybody knows how to cut a cylinder, so we'll start from that point. We don't have any sound, Jack. Mark it at 2 7/8. There we go. About 1/4 of an inch. We'll be able to get 2 of them out of this. Whether you're doing 1 or 2, the procedure's the same, so. Okay. Measure twice, cut once. 2 7/8. That means the center, that would be 1 7/16. That gives us our center line. Now, I'm just going to kind of mark it. I want to cut it down in the center. I want to leave at least 6 inches. I leave a little over 3/4 of an inch in the center. That gives me plenty to support my work, and also defines the two ornaments.
That defines my pieces. Now I want to take the wave off here. I want to take them and mark these. I want to make 8 holes around this. And this particular lathe has 24 indexes, so that works out perfect for us. So let me move this out of the way.
On a 24 index, every 3 D10ths will be 1 hole.
I'm going to use pieces of the Rick Bywater indexing system. This is something I've got left over from where I was doing the imitation basket weave, and boy, it works out great for this.
You can also use the tool rest if you don't have the indexing system. I find it's just a little easier and a little more accurate with this way.
Okay. There's 0. Three.
That one's 6, and once I get all of them marked, then I'll take an awl and mark the center points and get it ready for drilling. Next slide.
I've got it turned to a cylinder, and I've got our hole points marked. We'll go over here at the drill press, and I always try to set it up to where I'm going to drill a 3/4 or a 1/4 inch hole in it. And you always want to make sure that your drill bit is perpendicular to your table. In other words, 90 degrees. That way it'll drill straight through the piece, and we can get our pen mandrel through there, because that's the whole purpose behind what we're doing, making it easier to make the holes. So we've got our points set up, everything's set up. Let's go ahead and drill some holes and go from there.
First hole you can drill as far as you want to. The next 3 holes, you only want to drill about halfway. If you try to go farther than halfway, the angle from the previous hole will have a tendency to throw the drill bit off.
Holes will just drill down about halfway. Try to go all the way through, but the angle of the last hole has a tendency to throw the bit off. So we just take it go halfway through, drill all the holes down. Okay, now these holes we can drill all the way through, so there are holes like that.
Now that you've got the other holes drilled, you can drill all the way through so that the holes line up for the mandrel.
Got everything all the way through. I'm going to take it, just kind of clean out the holes. Get everything out of them.
If anyone has any questions, feel free to chime in.
See the hose all the way through. Now from here, we'll go back over to the lathe and cut our fins. Basically reduces the width. So it'll turn out somewhat oblong like you saw on the original. So I've got these already marked and we'll go ahead and get started here.
From here, we're going to cut our sphere, and you'll notice I've got the markings and about midway between the center and the outside edge. That gives us our 45, and then we can just kind of round it off from there. As I said, it's the same for one ornament or whether you're doing two ornaments. The set procedure is the same.
If I get that, then I'll just start rounding it out. Now, hold the phone. So, that, I don't know. That's good.
Now you can see why the other end was beveled off when we started. Had to make room for the first one, be able to get my sphere cut.
Yeah.
Now that we've got a sphere, rust sphere, we're going to take and drill out the center so that we can part it off of our mounting and get it ready to start cutting the fins.
Hey, Mike, did you have a lot of sawdust coming out of the holes in the side when it was
Yes.
turning and you're drilling it?
Yes.
Okay.
I center in, I always bring it up, kind of catch it. Thank you.
Switch was backwards,
Yeah,
Timmy.
got our ball. Now we're ready to start. Bring up.
Now you'll notice I've got it mounted on the drill pen mandrel, and I've got some wedges that I made out of some old pen blank pieces left over. I used them for some earlier ornaments that I'd made years ago, and they worked out real well. They keep it centered and keep it good and tight. I also use a mandrel saver. You can do it with a nut and bushings, but the mandrel saver is a little quicker, I found.
Here.
Mark a point between the two holes about the center. That gives you the limitations of how wide you want to make your coves.
You don't have to make them real dark. Just want to sand them out. Now we're going to take and start making our fins. Now you can see the pencil marks in there. I don't know if you can see it in there or not, but the grass there will make out a shadow of it. That'll be the extent of where you want to, cut to. That's why I like a handle saver. I was trying to use the nuts and bushings on the hardest spot of the tree. Tight it down.
Mike, is there a certain depth you're trying to get your?
I'll explain that here in a minute.
Okay.
As long as the depth is even throughout, that'll give you your fins the same size. But I'll show you that here in a second.
Now you can see how far away from the pencil marks I am. I'll need to clean that up a little more. And we want them all the same size, all the same depth. That gives you your fins the same size. This is about 2 1/4. So I'll cut it down to that point, and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, now for the last one.
You'll also sand each of the coves as you're going. And any fins that are completed, you can clean those up and knock the square edges off, or I would knock the square edges off. Some people may like that, but I don't like real square edges. But now you can see how I loaded up onto the mandrel. I'm getting ready to cut our last piece here. It's got the wedges on both sides, and bring the mandrel saver up, and it's ready to go.
Points are already marked on for the center on this. All I got to do is cut it. I noticed Alan Stratton said that this was the hardest. I've done a test measure after the user.
And now you can see how much that reduces the two ends down when you cut your coves. So that gives you that oblong, that oval shape when you get done. But I just use a pair of calipers. I've got those set at, this particular one was set up at 2 7/8 on the outside. So I've got a 2 1/4 for the bottom of the coves. Like I say, you want to try to make them all the same. Otherwise your fins come out different sizes, and it looks a little lopsided sometimes. This is where your ABCs come into play. The more you can ride that bevel, the cleaner your cut will be.
And then go just a little wider here. Not much. I took that to go here. Plenty deep. So I'll clean that up just a little bit and we'll call it good.
Here's where I'm sanding it. And as soon as I get done with that, then I'll sand the last 4 fins.
Hey, looking good.
Just want to take out the pencil marks and round the corners down, the edges down. Just kind of soften them a little bit.
I see why it doesn't have to be totally exact as far as the ball is concerned. Gotta have it close, but it doesn't have to be exact. All right. From here, we'll take them. Now that we've got the fins turned on it, got these 1/4-inch holes left in it. We want to increase the size of the 1/4-inch holes out to the 1/2 inch. So we're going to do that here on the drill press again. Again, I'm using my platform. So let's get them drilled out, get it ready to hollow out.
If you're using a Forstner bit like this, you want to make sure and start real easy, because putting a flat into a round area gets kind of exciting sometimes.
Start out kind of easy. Usually down a little bit. Sometimes too. Start out easy. When you get the solid, then you can start putting pressure. And voila, there you have the holes. Now we're ready to go back to the lathe and hollow it out. Now we've got our 1/2 inch holes. You can see we've got them drilled in here. We want to take and kind of hollow this out just a little bit. Mostly to clean it up, because I don't know if you can see it in there. But the center camera over it. See, it's kind of ragged in there, so we just want to kind of clean that up, and we'll hollow it out a little bit, just to take away a little bit of the weight. I use my small set of cold jaws, and when I bought my cold jaws, I bought a large set, and also bought these long pins due to the fact that I was doing some holes that were kind of uneven at the top. Sometimes it was quite a ways before I could get them caught. So I want to take and put it in here. I just use 4 of them because I've got 8 sides, and 4 works out perfect. When I put this in here, then I'll take my flat center. Like so. I'll bring that down. And use that to center up with. Doesn't have to be super tight. Just want to tighten it up to keep it from rolling while you're cutting it. Back this way. See how we're setting for. Yeah, it's not too bad. I go with that. I'll take the live center out so I don't end up being punctured with it. We're going to take and hollow this critter. Back. Doesn't take much. Still go out a little more there, and get there, and a little more out of the bottom. Okey-doke. I'm about as far as I want to be. I could use a little more out of the bottom. Much better. Okay, from here we're ready to make the finials. I'm going to take this out so you can get a look at it. Okay. Okay. Thank you. And now you can see it. Looks better in there. It's real lightweight. So we're ready for the finials now. Now we're going to take this piece of walnut and we're going to take and make our finials out of it. Okay, we've got 3/4 holes in the main body, so I'm going to take and cut a 3/4 here. And I use a tip, come down that harbor great and bought some cheap wrenches so that I could take it sharp to one side to use it for cutting things like this. As you can see, it works really well.
Just kind of cleaning up the corners so it seats in good.
Make sure it fits the way I want it to. I usually try to cut 2 profiles.
Mike, what was the tool that you used to hollow?
That was an easy wood hollowing tool.
Close, just get it lightly with sandpaper.
I just used 220. I wasn't too concerned about getting it real fine or real clean. I'll only put 1 coat of lacquer on it when I get done, just to darken the walnut and give it some definition and kind of protect it a little bit. But I still wanted the wood feel and the wood finish to it.
Okay, there's the top. Here's the top. I'll take and very top and put a lag eye in it, just a real small lag eye that will be used to hold it. Now we'll cut the bottom one. Then I take and cut the bottom. Using a wrench like that is a real quick and easy way to get your end the size that you want it. Then all you have to do is just kind of clean up the corners. Make sure it fits the way I want it to. Perfect. And if any of those, of course, are personal preference. This year I decided to make them with the short one on top, of course, for where you hang it from. And the bottom one, I tried to make it extra long and somewhat thin. You can't make them too thin because when people store them, they get torn up. So coming off the bottom. Just like the top one, I'll try to make 2 beads that are progressively smaller. And then I'll start my stem.
Want to, you can jump forward a couple of minutes there, Jack. There you go. Negative rake scraper works wonders. Getting small enough now, it's starting to flex a little bit, so I got to be kind of careful. Clean this up, and then we'll sand it a little bit. I will take the pattern off. Now it's splashed together. I'll put a coat of lacquer on it, and we will call it good.
That was a great demo, Mike. Thank you. Anybody, if you've got a question, unmute yourself and ask Mike. Now's the time.
Hey, Mike, how thin do you
Yes.
make the walls?
I'm sorry?
How thin do you try to when you hollow it out, how thin do you try to make those walls?
Oh, about a quarter of an inch.
Oh, okay.
You covered many steps in a short time.
Yeah, it takes about 2 hours to totally cut one.
I imagine you can hollow too much. If you hollow too much, do you just start cutting into the circles you've cut into the
Yes.
grooves? Okay.
Yep.
Does it make a different shape? I mean, it won't come apart at that point, but can you make ovals then out of those circles?
You probably can. I haven't tried to take it too much past that. I had a second spalted maple, and I was just using 2 pins on the coal jaws, and apparently there must have been a crack in it because it went all over my shop. So I only ended up with 1 spalted.
Okay. I suppose they are maybe starting to break down a little bit, and so they may have more potential for that.
Probably.
Okay.
It's kind of a punky wood.
Okay.
Mike, I never noticed it before, but you were cutting with the wrong hand.
Not for me. I can't help it. All you guys are cutting with the wrong hand.
Yeah. You just think the rest of us are using the wrong hand.
That's right.
Good job, Mike.
Thank you.
So I think Mike, was there another question?
Can you just drill 1/2 inch holes instead of the 1/4 inch and just use bigger wood inserts?
I find it's more stable if I drill the 1/4 inch holes so that it fits the mandrel.
That makes sense.
Okay.
That was something I was wondering too.
With the 1/2 inch holes, it'd be hard to catch them, even with the wedges that I was using. It'd be hard to catch them on perfectly without just catching at one point due to the fact that you're inside of a cove.
Yeah. Okay.
Mike, that was a great demo. Explain the coal jaws. I'm not familiar with that. What is that? How does that work?
The coal jaws are just a flat piece of metal that mount onto your chuck, and it's got several holes for putting pins in to come down against, like a platter or a bowl, something like that. And when I bought them, I bought a large set and a small set. Small set came with the set I had bought, but I was doing some bigger bowls, so I bought the larger set. And some of the bowls I was turning, I'd have different tops on them, so it'd be quite a ways back into the bowl before I could get anything to catch and hold. Anymore, I use a vacuum chuck, but the coal jaws come in handy every once in a while. In fact, I did have a platter that I just finished up that was 11.5 inches, and my coal jaws wouldn't go big enough. So I took my small coal jaws, screwed them into the top of the big coal jaws, and extended it out. It worked great.
Ingenuity. Way to go. All right.
Us woodworkers are poor people. We have to figure out ways to do things.
That's exactly right.
I'm sure glad that it all stayed together. It's not like throwing wood off your lathe, that's for sure.
Amen there.
All right, Mike, you're there to offer up the challenge for next month. I thought I saw something there. So what's your challenge for next month?
Challenge would be any kind of a multi-axis turning.
Okay, that leaves it wide open, but obviously, I'd like to see some sea urchin designs following your instructions there. But
Sure.
multi-axis turning for next month. So everybody, remember where your center point is and move off of that.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for the demonstration and great job of putting it together. Jack, thanks for your help on that. Always appreciate
Jack
appreciate
does a
that.
really good job of helping out, I'll tell you.
Well, even I noticed that some of the lighting sometimes is just, it's better in what I see from you, Jack, than sometimes the professional demonstrators have. So good job. Nice presentation. And thank you, Mike, once again.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
Sure.
He always does a great job.
Thanks a lot.
I did remember what was on that first announcement slide besides the welcome to the, or welcome to all new members and guests. There was also a reminder that almost any information you guys might be searching for regarding the club is usually available on the website. So if you haven't already kind of gotten yourself comfortable with bouncing through the website and the things that are there, I would challenge you to do that and take a look, because there's a lot of good information there. Calendar of events is there and will be filled in as things start to happen. So it's a good place to go and reference if you've got any questions. If you want to contact the board about anything at all, just go there and you should be able to find the emails to get it to us. I think that'll get us through to the next